and had an opportunity to see Faith a week ago when I was at our annual convention up in Reno. She was part of the music team. And I've enjoyed her work and followed her for quite some time. So that song just really resonated with what is up for us as a community and what is up for me and what is up for the world. And it simply says, God is. God is. God is all that there is. And so we say good morning and welcome to the Monterey Center for Spiritual Living. We are a Science of Mind community that practices the principles and teachings of New Thought, Ancient Wisdom. We are a philosophy of faith and a way of life. We welcome you. Our theme for the month is the practice of becoming. It's another way of being open at the top. We're always evolving and growing. And our topic for today is listening beyond the noise of the world. And again, it's an opportunity to go within and spend some time in the silence. In our tradition, in the tradition of Science of Mind, we honor and acknowledge all paths. And there are a few notable events that are happening this week within spiritual communities that I just want to share with you. Two in spiritual community and one that's related to the earth in general. Today, April 19th, is the birthday of Lao Tzu. And this is a symbolic recognition of the wisdom that continues to emerge, less about when something began and more about what is still being born through the teaching. And I see the connection here between Ernest Holmes teaching us to be open at the top. So we're open to what is emerging. Lao Tzu's writings became the sacred text known as the Tao Te Ching. And scholars suggest that Lao Tzu perhaps was not a single historical figure, but rather a composite of sages that associated with the Tao Te Ching. And then within the spiritual communities that practice Baha'i, April 20th through May 1st is the festival of Ridvan. This is a worldwide celebration, and its meaning is paradise, or a new garden of divine understanding. And it commemorates the 12 days that Baha'u'llah, who is the founder of the Baha'i faith, spent on the banks of the Tigris River in Baghdad in 1863. During this time, he declared his mission to be God's messenger for a new age and reveal spiritual principles underpinning his teachings. This is something that emerged out of the silence. And then the other event that is happening this week on April the 22nd is Earth Day. And this is a sacred reminder of our covenant with creation that is calling us back to the ancient wisdom that we belong to the earth, our shared dwelling place, and our sacred home. Earth Day invites us into a deeper reverence for the garden that we already share. And let us not seek quick fixes for the world's wounds, but commit to the slow, steady labor of love, tending, restoring, and walking gently on this good green earth. And so this is an invitation for us to listen beyond the noise of the world. Listening beyond the noise of the world allows us to recognize the sacredness of the earth, the nature and the interconnectedness and the reverence for life, and also an opportunity for restoration and healing. Ernest Holmes, in the book Spiritual Awareness on page 6, penned these words: "Spiritual experience comes in the stillness of the soul, when the outer voice is quiet. It is a quickening of the inner being to an external reality." So we are moving on the inside, we're growing on the inside, we're developing on the inside, and this is what expands out into the external reality. In this passage, Holmes is reminding us that within us lies a stillness that transcends the muting of the external and internal noise. It is the alignment with our true self. This is what emerges out of the silence. This alignment with our true self goes beyond our thoughts, beyond expectations, beyond ideas, and beyond actions. The practice of becoming invites us to listen beyond the world and become aware of what keeps us from truly learning life. It teaches us that silence can be an active teacher and that stillness helps us discern the truth. Can you imagine silence as a doorway to a more authentic life and the practice of becoming? Stillness and quiet opens us up to a deeper listening, and this requires our willingness to remain in silence, to let go of our defenses, and to surrender to the healing whisper of truth. Here's a story I want to share with you, and the main character in this story is Dave. And as I share the story, I would like for you to imagine yourself as Dave in this story, to see how Dave's behavior and characteristics may relate to our own life. I'm including myself in this story also, so this becomes our story. A man named Dave, feeling lost in life, decided to seek wisdom from a famous guru living in a quiet monastery high in the mountains. And there's something about escaping into the high places that calls us into this place of stillness. After a long journey, Dave finally arrived and was granted an audience. The guru sat peacefully in silence, eyes closed, radiating pure serenity. Dave, on the other hand, was a mess. His phone kept buzzing. His mind raced with unfinished to-do list. The city car horn still echoed in his head. Desperate for clarity, he blurted, "Master, how can I hear my intuition? My mind is so noisy. The world is so distracting. I don't know how to listen." And there's more to the story, but I just want to insert a personal experience here. Many of you know that I wear hearing aids. And so my telephone is connected to my hearing aids so that I can speak, without, I can carry on a conversation without having to turn the speaker on. So it's nice for, a silent and private interaction. However, with the phone being connected to the hearing aids, and I don't bring the phone into the sanctuary with me, whatever notices are coming in will buzz. And so I get these buzz through my ear. So I go, okay, this is not working. So what I've done is I'll put my ringer on silent. And then I don't remember to turn the ringer back on. So now I have a note on the face of my phone, ringer on. So the guru says to Dave, "Come, let us meditate together. Close your eyes." Dave did as he was told, eager for enlightenment. But just as he started to breathe deeply, ding, his phone rang and vibrated in his pocket. In that moment, he was pulled back into the world of noise, asking himself, what did my wife mean by interesting in the last text? And I wish I had downloaded that song about tranquility I heard the other day. And I should have dressed up better to come see this guy. And it's clear I can't quiet down long enough to meditate. Frustrated, he peeked with one eye open and saw the guru sitting there, completely unbothered, sitting in the stillness. Exasperated, Dave asked the guru, How can you possibly ignore all this noise? The guru opened his eye, leaned in, and whispered, because I put my phone in airplane mode. So there are techniques that we learn to support us in moving from one stage to another. What keeps us from truly listening to life? We live in a whirlwind of distractions, social media, outside opinions, and the endless stream of news. Often our thoughts are in motion, and this unending mental flow, fueled by fear, hurry, and the illusion of separation, which we talked about last week, keeps us from listening beyond the noise. The blocks to spiritual clarity are not external. They are internal, in the form of our mental clutter, false beliefs, and opinions that saturate our awareness, shutting the door to the quiet voice of spirit, which always guides us from the center of our being. True listening requires us to quiet the intellect and enter the inner sanctuary where divine intelligence resides. In the scriptures, Psalms 46:10 reads, and also in our Science of Mind teaching, we hear these words, be still and know. Be still and know. And Ernest Holmes adds on to that the inner light shines. Be still and know that the inner light shines. So when we align our attention with the divine mind and spirit, we begin to hear with the heart. So we've taken that longest journey from the head to the heart. We listen from the heart space. We perceive the eternal truth that has always been present, waiting to be recognized. Silence is an active teacher. It carries us beyond the mental and emotional noise into the soul's deeper listening. It becomes a sanctuary free of distractions and masks, a sacred space where only presence remains. Here is where intuition, and divine guidance and wisdom emerge. From these silent places in the heart is where we drop the mask. We acknowledge the sacred space where we are, and our intuition and our divine guidance and deep wisdom that guides us emerges from these places. Silence teaches us to be present, to observe without interference, and to feel without judgment. In that stillness, the mind quiets, the heart expands, and the soul speaks. Many spiritual traditions recognize silence as a pathway to truth. Now, silence is not passive. It is a dynamic teacher that reveals who we truly are. Gordon Hempton said, silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of everything. Silence is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of everything. Moving into that place of inner stillness helps us to discern the truth. Stillness, distinct from silence, is a state of being. Inner stillness allows us to access a level of clarity beyond our conditioned thought. Learning to be at peace with ourselves means mental noise, automatic reactions, and overwhelming emotions lose power and begin to dissolve. I'll say this again. Learning to be at peace with ourselves means mental noise, automatic reactions, and overwhelming emotions lose their power and begin to dissolve, thus creating an inner serene space. A clear perception arises, one not filtered by fear or egoic desire. This is where our true, authentic self emerges. And from here, we recognize what is real, what is authentic, and is aligned with our essential being. In this serenity, intuition deepens, judgment softens, and the soul's natural wisdom finds root to express itself. And so as I wrap this up and bring this talk to a conclusion, I offer this quote from Ernest Holmes, and this is from the Science of Mind textbook on page 351. And he wrote, "We're surrounded by all sorts of vibrations, and if we wish to catch any of them distinctly, we must tune in." We're surrounded by all sorts of vibrations, and if we wish to catch any of them distinctly, we must tune in. The practice of becoming begins by listening beyond the noise that surrounds us. This week, our assignment, if you choose to accept it, is to listen not with the physical ears, listen with the ears of the soul. Step into the silence and find stillness that reveals our true identity. And so as we step into the stillness and prepare for our spiritual mind treatment, I invite you to hear these words from Ram Dass from The Journey of Awakening. Only in the silence that lies beyond thought, can we hear the symphony of the universe. Can one hear the whisper of the word? Can one approach the inner temple wherein dwells the soul? And in this secret dwelling place of the Most High is where I know that there is only one life, one power, one presence, one highest idea for good that I can tap into. And I can tap into it, I can connect with it, I can be it because I am one with Source. I am one with this life of God. And as I embrace this truth for myself, I embrace it for all people in all places everywhere. I embrace it for all things that are part of creation, recognizing that there is not a spot where God is not. And so I speak my word this morning with clarity, with gratitude, and from this place in the heart where the stillness guides and orders my steps. There's a song that says, "Order my steps in your word, dear Lord. Lead me and guide me." And so I know that my steps are ordered in this divine knowing that I am one with Spirit in all times, at all places. I know that this love that is expressing itself through me is that same love that is expressing through all of creation. And as I acknowledge the love within me, as I can see the love within me, as I can feel the love within me, as I know the love within me, as I encounter other expressions of the divine creation of Spirit, what I see is love. What I tap into is love. What I release is distractions. What I release is mental judgment. What I release is any appearance of anything that is not like the true essence of love, the true essence of Spirit. And this morning, or whenever you are listening to this particular talk, I invite you to join with me as we lift in prayer the beloveds in our community who are experiencing family experiences, family emergencies, family illnesses, family accidents, lifting loved ones into the healing, wholeness, and wellness of Spirit. We join together in lifting those who are experiencing transitions in their lives, the transitions of a loved one who has stepped off of the mortal plane into eternality, joining the ancestors that are now part of us, that become that non-local presence that is available when we call, when we listen in the stillness. We hear the guidance of the ancestors. We hear the guidance of spirit that is directing us along this journey that is called life. For those who are experiencing transitions in all other areas of life, I'm knowing that spirit guides. And I remember a minister saying this many, many years ago, where spirit guides, spirit provides. And so I'm knowing that there is provision that is provided for each and every one as we travel along this way. And all that is required is that we open our hearts, we open our spiritual eye of discernment, and we see the truth that God is and all is well. Blessing places where people are gathering in the name and nature of love, honoring all traditions that provide peace for the soul, peace for the journey, and guidance for life's direction. For this and so much more, I'm eternally grateful. For the prayer requests that remain in the recesses of our hearts, knowing that the answer is yes and amen. For all of this, I release it now into that law which says yes, and it's propelled into action by love. Just letting it be. And if any of what I have said resonates with you in any way, let us affirm it together by saying, and so it is, and so it is. And I invite us to say our affirmation for the week together, and the words are on our monitor. Today, I recognize the voice of truth in my inner voice. Let's say that together again. Today, I recognize the voice of truth in my inner voice. And so now it is our time to participate in the flow of abundance. And it is a sharing of our gifts to our spiritual community that support our programs, support the things that are important to create this physical space that we're in, to maintain the physical space that we're in, and to expand our programs beyond, to tithe out to others. And we have an affirmation of abundance. I invite us to say that together now. I recognize the presence of God within as the source of my abundance. Out of my abundance consciousness flows everything I could desire in life. With gratitude and thanksgiving, I now participate in the flow of uninterrupted abundance. This prosperous experience is evidence of my abundance consciousness. And so there are ways to donate to our center for those of you who are here in the center this morning. Our usher is passing the basket, and I invite everyone to just infuse the basket with love as it passes by you. I know a number of our members donate online, donate by mail, and so we just acknowledge you for that. For those who are viewing, we have a new mailing address, and that is P.O. Box 804, Monterey, California, 93942. You may text to give at 831-246-9694, or you may donate online to our website, montereycsl.org/donate. We appreciate your continuing gifts and support. And for those who are part of our viewing audience that are tuning in via Facebook or our YouTube channel, we encourage you to like and share and comment if you find meaning in our talks so that we continue to spread the word out. And we invite you to join us next week as we conclude our April series, The Practice of Becoming. And our guest speaker next week, guest speaker and musical guest, is Carrie Hillary. And Carrie's talk is titled, What Would Love Do Here? And so we're delighted to welcome Carrie back to our center and to be a part of our musical inspiration. So to our family, we say, God bless you, we love you, and we will see you the next time you join us.